Please don't dab.
Yeah, I feel like an idiot when I do that. Okay. Hi, this is the Militant Moderate Podcast. I'm your host, Paul Michael Bolin. And today, the Democratic National Party doing this boneheadedly dumb It appears that the Democrats are hell-bent on making sure that Donald Trump has a second term. I don't want to put up with 4 years of this madness. What is the Democratic National Committee, DNC? This is the formal governing body for the United States Democratic Party. The committee coordinates strategy to support Democratic Party candidates throughout the country for both local, state, and national offices. It organizes the Democratic National Convention, held every 4 years to nominate, confirm a candidate for president, and to formulate the party platform. While it provides support for party candidates, it does not have direct authority over elected officials. Okay. Democratic National Chairman Tom Perez released his 75 nominees to join the Democratic National Committee yesterday. One of them is Donna Brazile. And apparently he went further and nominated her to the Rules Committee. You might remember her from breaking the rules during the Democratic National Convention. We learned from the WikiLeaks that she's the one who released questions early to Hillary during the Hillary-Bernie debates. Do they want to correct the problem? No, they just want to put the same freaking people, I wouldn't say represents the majority of the Democratic voters. Donna Brazile was appointed to the Rules and Bylaws Committee, because I guess she's pretty much an expert on breaking them. In Time magazine, she was quoted as saying, "My job is to make all our Democratic candidates look good, and I worked closely with both campaigns to make that happen. But sending those emails was a mistake I will forever regret." So what exactly are you regretting, Donna? The intent of the emails or the fact that you got caught? Yeah. And the reason that I even can kind of think that that's maybe she's not fully sorry for her actions, instead she's kind of sorry for sending it in an email form, is because she also stated, if I had to do it all over again, I would know a hell of a lot more about cybersecurity. You can't make this crap up. On October 31st, 2016, the New York Times reported that CNN, of which Donna Brazile was a contributor, CNN has severed ties with the Democratic strategist Donna Brazile after hacked emails from WikiLeaks showed that she shared questions for CNN-sponsored candidate events in advance with friends on Hillary Clinton's campaign. CNN said it had accepted her formal resignation on October 14th, adding, "We are completely uncomfortable with what we have learned about her interactions with the Clinton campaign while she was a CNN contributor." But Tom Perez doesn't seem to be uncomfortable with her being over the rules. I haven't gone over all 75 names, but only one other one really stands out as kind of like a bad idea. There's a Daniel Halpern, was appointed to the deputy finance chair. He ran an anti-$15 minimum wage lobbying group. Great Democrat, right? You people make my head hurt. Oh, God. We have to do something about this superdelegate system. Granted, you can kind of look at the numbers and maybe Bernie wouldn't have won a nomination with when you take the superdelegates out of the situation, but there was a lot of other shenanigans that went on. If we don't change the system in the Democratic Party, a politician of the people will not get a chance to rise, because every one of these 75 people is a superdelegate whose votes, as we learn, are way more potent than your average delegate voter. Now, you remember last year, around May of 2016, John Oliver did mention how the primary system on both parties, they both have their issues, really need to be reformed. Now, you can't exactly reform them midstream, like back when we all found out about these superdelegates, and it irritated me since I was a Bernie Sanders supporter. So you have to change them now. And John said that we should all be writing emails like after the first of the year. I wish he would have done sort of a call to action, kind of like what he did with the FCC net neutrality stuff. But if we don't fix this, we're going to get 8 years of Donald Trump. Think about that. 8 years. Democrats. Democratic Party. Bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it in. Don't be a fucking or on. Keep in mind that the 75 nominations aren't going to be like our representative government. They're not people that are going to be senators or representatives at any sort of level. They simply exist within the Democratic National Committee and have the most amount of influence on who those nominations will be for president, or I think maybe in a senatorial and congressional level. And we're getting around to that fart mouth of the week. What does that mean? That means the words coming out of their mouth aren't worth a dust fart in a windstorm. Fart mouth of the week this week, Maureen Dowd, a columnist for the New York Times, posted an opinion piece on the New York Times website on October 21st, 2017. She interviewed Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter talked about Trump, and one of the things that Jimmy Carter says is that he feels that the media has been harder on Trump than any other president, certainly that I've known about. And then he also said, I think they feel free to claim that Trump is mentally deranged and everything else without hesitation. What do you think she titled this article? She titled it, Jimmy Carter Lusts for a Trump Posting. She starts out the article, most people would run away screaming at the thought of working for a boss that humiliates subordinates in public, throttles them in private, demands constant flattery, and spends all day watching cable TV and behaves in a wildly unpredictable way. Now, some of what she says, yeah, it's kind of fair. I mean, I do have eyes for Christ's sake. But the reason that she seemed to think that vying for some sort of position in the Trump administration is because apparently he said to General McMaster, who is Trump's national security advisor, that he told him that he was available if they ever needed him in reference to possibly negotiating with North Korea and kind of diffusing this whole North Korea-America situation. We should be so lucky, which the article does not kind of brush on. I mean, who do you want negotiating with North Korea? Pious Peanut or Dawn? I'm going to go with Carter. Also in the article, he mentioned that we have 22 votes in our family, and Obama got all 22 of them. He also complained that Obama refused to talk to North Korea and more. Carter also lamented the fact that Obama joined the bombing of Yemen, in which case Carter has said it was one of the most interesting places that he had ever visited. He also talks about how I don't think there's any evidence that Russians did change enough votes or any votes. Also talked about when I compared the Clinton Foundation with the Carter Center, Carter noted that his wife, Rosie and I put money into the Carter Center. We never take any out. Also talked about how on the issue of NFL players kneeling, they said Carter was less sympathetic. They quote him as saying, I think they ought to find a different way to object, to demonstrate. I would rather see all the players standing during the national anthem. He didn't say anything that they shouldn't say it. He just wished there was another way for them to say it, i.e., they still have a right to do that. And we have a right to be offended by doing that. To wrap up, Carter's not telling them what they want to hear. So they had to find some way to smear him, like his lusts, which I know is a reference to the Playboy magazine interview he did where he was asked if he thought he was a righteous man. He says, no, I have lust in my heart. Never acted on it, because we would have found out about that. Jimmy Carter ever did anything. You know, there are plenty of people on the right side of the aisle that are just praying that he is found in some seedy motel with either a dead girl or a live boy. But it hasn't happened. Because Jimmy didn't tell this woman what she wanted to f***ing hear, she had to paint a picture that he's trying to go all Trump-tastic. You have taken a good man and done what you could to smear him when all you heard was basically a thoughtful man telling the truth. This is why we can't have nice things. You know why you did it. You know what you did, and you know why I'm calling you an asshole. Even the title, the way you title this isn't fun. Because he didn't ask for a position, he just offered help in diffusing a very volatile situation with North Korea. But no, you post it like wants to get in bed with Trump. No, he just wants to help, and we should be so lucky. Maureen Dowd, you know what you were doing. You know that most people only read the title of these things. What he actually said to McMaster, I told him that I was available if they needed me. You title it, Jimmy Carter Lust for a Trump Posting. Really? No, he just offered to help, and we should be so lucky. He didn't say what you wanted to hear. He said that the media was unfair to him. The media is unfair to him. As I've said before, plenty of reasons to criticize Trump. Why make things up? Now, that is why you, Maureen Dowd, are the fart mouth of the week. And you know you're being an asshole for purposely misinterpreting his words. You know what you did, and you're being a dick. And that's why you are the fart mouth of the week. This has been the Militant Moderate Podcast. I've been your host, Paul Michael Bolin. Please click like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Do you agree with her? You don't agree with her. Very least, just call her an asshole. I think the term fits. And aside from that, try to be nice to one another.